tutorial, we're going to learn how to create this to-do list app that outputs a list of tasks every time you submit the form. Let me show you. So we have our input form here, and if I type, for example, my task is to read a book, and I press enter, we have our task outputted. And it's important that our task contains a checkbox and a delete button so that we can check the task when we complete it or delete the task when it's completed. So we're going to be coding this with vanilla JavaScript with no framework whatsoever, and we're going to make this application accessible. If we test and try to work with the form only via the keyboard, it's working great. So I am going to type down the task, for example, watch a movie, and then I'm going to press tab again, and then I'm going to land on the add button. And I'm going to press enter, and a new task will be added. And if you see here below the task list, it says the name of the task, and it says the word added. This is a status bar that shows us that the task has been added successfully to our list. But more importantly, this text right here gets voiced by the screen readers, and I have optimized it especially for them via the markup, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Now if I press tab again, I am redirected to the first interactive element, which is the checkbox, and then I can press I can press spacebar to check and uncheck it, and if I press tab again, I go to the delete task. If I press enter, the task is deleted and the focus is moved to the header. To the heading. And if I go down, I can do the same thing for the other task, and then I can add more tasks. For example, let's say paint nails, enter. And this is important to make this accessible. I have seen a lot of to-do list apps, and you know, whenever you start learning a new framework, the first thing you have to create with the framework is to-do list. But the problem is, all the tasks I have seen that are done with JavaScript are not accessible at all. So they use things like spans for numbers. They don't use a form at all. They use a lot of icons, which make it look pretty, but they don't provide any alternative text for the icons. So screen readers, instead of, for example, when they usually have a cross button, and instead the screen reader saying delete, they say times because of the Unicode character thing. So we're going to do this accessible. I have this idea was inspired by Hayden Pickering's to-do list article. I have used some of the techniques he has outlined in the article. However, the entire code is mine, and my code has nothing to do with his. Like I said, I implement some of his techniques, but mine is completely different than his. And the article doesn't outline exactly how to code it, but it gives you really useful instructions that I implemented. However, I strongly recommend that you go and read Hayden's article, and you even buy the book Inclusive Components. It's just amazing. Okay. So the first lecture is going to be about the HTML CSS, and afterwards we're going to jump into the JavaScript.